All right, let's dive into the mind of one of ancient China's most, well, radical thinkers. We're talking nearly 2,000 years ago, a time when the world was pretty much ruled by gods and ghosts and destiny. But one man, he decided to challenge everything. His name was Wang Chong, and he was about to put the entire universe on a scale.
So you hear a saying like this, and it really tells you everything you need to know about the worldview back in Han Dynasty China, around the 1st century AD. The idea was that your talent, your worthiness, that was one thing, but whether you got a chance to use it, that was something else entirely. Both were just handed down by this force called fate. Your life wasn't really a product of your choices. It was more like a script that had already been written by the heavens.
To really get just how revolutionary Wang Chong was, we have to immerse ourselves in the world he lived in. And this place was just saturated with superstition. I mean, every single natural event, a comet shooting across the sky, a flood, even a weird-looking plant in your garden, it wasn't just an event. No, it was a message. It was a warning, or maybe a reward from this conscious, all-powerful heaven that was, deeply invested in every little thing humans did. And what's really striking when you look at these beliefs is the total lack of personal agency. People truly believe that great leaders, these sages, weren't just born of ordinary men and women. Nope. Their mothers must have swallowed a magic pearl or had an encounter with a dragon. Thunder wasn't a weather phenomenon. It was heaven getting angry and zapping somebody. In a world like that, success and failure weren't things you earned. They were just assigned to you.
And into this world walks Wang Chong. Now, he wasn't some bitter cynic who just wanted to tear everything down. He was a rationalist, a guy who looked around and saw a world full of these extraordinary claims, but a shocking lack of just ordinary evidence. So he developed a method, a way to systematically analyze any idea, no matter how sacred it was.
He called his masterpiece the Lunheng, which literally translates to weighing discourses, and that name, it reveals his entire philosophy. Just picture a scale, right? On one side, you place a popular belief, any belief. On the other side, you start piling up logic, observation, and cold, hard facts. If the belief ends up being lighter than the evidence, you toss it out. It's such a simple idea, but it was devastatingly powerful.
So how did this method actually work in practice? Well, Wang Chong took the biggest, most popular myths of his time and did exactly that. He put them on the scale to see if they'd hold up.
First up, thunder. So, the myth was, it's the sound of heaven's fury. But Wang Chong, he actually looked at the world. He observed that lightning often started fires, he could feel the intense heat in the air, so he puts it on the scale and concludes, you know what? Thunder isn't heavenly anger at all, it's a natural phenomenon, a massive clash of fire and air in the atmosphere. I mean, that's a remarkably scientific explanation for 2,000 years ago.
And he applied that same cold logic to the origin of great people. All the stories said sages were semi-divine. Wang Chong's reality check? People are born from people. It's just common sense. He argued it's absurd to think a human being could be created by a bird's egg or a dragon. He insisted that extraordinary people have ordinary origins. And that was a radical claim, because it brought greatness down from the heavens and placed it firmly back within humanity.
But here's the biggest myth he decided to tackle, this idea of cosmic justice, the belief that heaven always rewards the good and always punishes the evil. Wang Chong just looked around and saw that this was demonstrably false. He saw virtuous scholars dying in poverty while corrupt officials got richer and richer. The universe, he argued, isn't some moral referee. Sometimes good people just have bad luck.
Okay, so this raises a crucial question, right? If a moral heaven isn't pulling the strings, then what is? If it's not fate, then why do good people suffer and why do so many talented people fail? Wang Chong had an answer, and honestly, it was even more radical than his attacks on thunder and dragons.
He proposed a totally new force governing the universe. O. This word means chance, coincidence, or accident. It's the idea that our lives are shaped by the random, unpredictable intersection of events. It's not destiny, it's not some grand heavenly judgment, it's just things happening to line up, for better or for worse.
And he captured this idea with this simple, really elegant metaphor. The spider doesn't decide which insect gets caught in its web. It just spins a web, and insects just fly by. Whether one gets caught is a complete coincidence. It's just a chance encounter between where the web is and the insect's flight path. That, Wang Chong said, is how the world actually works.
So this led him to a pretty groundbreaking theory of success.
It's basically a three-step process. First, you have to have talent and ability. That part is real, it's on you. But second, you need a chance encounter, an opportunity that you just don't control. And success, that final step, only happens when your talent happens to collide with the right opportunity at exactly the right time. So your hard work is absolutely essential, but it's not always enough. You also need a bit of luck.
So, why are we talking about a Han Dynasty philosopher today? Well, because these ideas about evidence, about reason, and about the role of pure chance, they're just as relevant now as they were back in a world of dragon myths and heavenly anger.
Wang Chong's work forces us to ask this absolutely timeless question. I mean, think about it. In our own lives, when we succeed, how much of that is really due to our talent and our effort, and how much is just being in the right place at the right time? It's a really humbling question, and it kind of makes you rethink the whole nature of achievement and failure.
Ultimately, what Wang Chong left behind is a toolkit for clear thinking. It's a call to question the stories we're told, to demand evidence, and to honestly, really honestly, evaluate the role that randomness plays in our lives. In an age of misinformation, his method of weighing discourses has never felt more vital. The real courage, as he teaches us, is the courage to think for yourself, especially against the pressure of popular belief.
You know, Wang Chong dared to put his culture's most sacred beliefs on the scale of reason. So the question he leaves for us is, what stories do we accept without question? What personal or cultural myth is it time for us to finally weigh?